There's a lot of talk in the world of money about how you should invest or where you should invest, but whenever I begin a new relationship with clients, I always want to make sure they have a solid foundation before we get started. You could have an awesome financial plan, the perfect budget, or great investments, but if you aren't prepared for when life throws unexpected events your way, the whole thing can get thrown off course. Things like getting hurt, losing a job, or an unexpected financial emergency, or even passing away are all things that can derail a financial plan. But the good news is there are also areas you can protect yourself against. In my practice, we refer to these as the financial foundations, the building blocks that need to be in place before we worry about things like investments or long-term planning. I like to think of it as if we're taking a long journey on a ship, and before we are going to go ahead and hop in that ship and sail across the ocean, we want to make sure there aren't any major holes, that we have extra food in the case of emergency, that all of the lifeboats are secured and they themselves are in a good place, so that when the unexpected inevitably happens, we're going to be prepared for them along life's journey. I help clients understand where they are at today and what they need to do to get in a better position. Today, I'm going to walk you through each of the 4 financial foundations you should address yourself before you worry about your own long-term financial future. First up is the emergency fund. This is your financial safety net. Life is full of surprises. Your car could break down, a medical emergency could pop up, or you could even lose your job unexpectedly. Without an emergency fund, you might be forced to dip into your investments, which you had set aside for long-term you, or even be forced to go into debt in order to cover costs that you weren't prepared for. I recommend having at least 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in an easily accessible account. You want to make sure that this money isn't sitting in the stock market where it could go down 20% the day before you need it. It should be in a place where it's relatively steady. Now, it's not just about covering the unexpected, it's also about peace of mind. Many of my clients tell me they feel a lot more secure just knowing they have a cushion in place should something happen. Next is estate planning, and let me tell you, it's not just for the wealthy. An estate plan includes things like a will, power of attorney, healthcare directives, and maybe a trust if it makes sense for your situation. These documents make sure that your financial and medical wishes are honored if something happens to you. Without these documents in place, the court has to decide for you, which can add unnecessary time, stress, or even cost to your family. And let's be honest, you probably don't want the state deciding who should take care of your children. Having an estate plan is one of the things I see most people ignore, put on their list for a long time. And even when I work with clients, I have to keep following up with them to make sure they're still doing it. But having an estate plan in place ensures that your loved ones are taken care of and that your wishes are honored. Next, let's talk about disability insurance. This is crucial because your ability to earn an income is actually one of your biggest assets in life. If you got sick, injured, or couldn't work, how would you pay your bills or even keep saving for your future? In most cases, the best place to get disability insurance is through your employer. The policies tend to be very affordable and pretty easy to sign up for. Just make sure that the policy is enough. Most of the time, coverage is somewhere between 60 to 70% of your income. They don't let it get up to 100% because they actually want to give you an incentive to go back to work eventually. But if a big part of your compensation comes from bonuses or equity compensation, it might be a smart idea to build up an even bigger emergency fund just to bridge that gap. And finally, life insurance. This is about protecting your family if something happens to you. I see a lot of people rely on life insurance through their employer, which can be a great place to start, but it often isn't enough coverage, and they don't realize that if they lose their job or they leave their job, the policy doesn't move with them. I always want to make sure that you have enough life insurance, but also that you have your own policy. So that way, even if you leave your job or if you're let go, your family is going to be protected no matter what, and you can have pretty predictable premiums. I usually recommend term life insurance because it's really affordable and still gets you solid coverage that you need. With your own policy in place, you should have peace of mind knowing that your family is going to be taken care of should the worst happen. So to recap, before you invest, you should have a solid emergency fund in place, an estate plan set up and implemented, and secured yourself really good disability and life insurance. These are your financial foundations, and once they're in place, you'll be in great position to start building for your own long-term financial future. If you found this video helpful, definitely check out my latest video here and subscribe for more content on managing your money, planning for your future, and investing smartly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.